Good morning, my beautiful people. Welcome on into today's morning message for Wednesday, May 11th. Welcome on in. I hope you guys are having a beautiful week. How are we doing? How are we doing? Oh my gosh. I'm going to use this deck today. It's called the Good Tarot deck. It's massive though. It's really big. So it can be hard to shuffle. It can be hard to shuffle at times, but it's such a beautiful deck. I love it so much. But yeah, howdy. I would so much appreciate a like, a comment if you'd like, a subscribe if you enjoy these morning messages, as well if you wanted to book a personal tarot reading with me, you can find that link in the description box below. But apart from that, let's get some messages from Spirit. Some morning messages. Morning messages from Spirit. Doing a bit different today. Doing it a bit different today. That's funny. And the 9 of Fire. Interesting. Okay. So, it feels like there's definitely a theme this week. This feels like you're in an incubation period a little bit. This feels like, oh, would you like to see the cards, by the way? I should probably show you. Okay, so the first card we have here is Transformation. Beautiful card. I love this card so much. Transformation. And it feels very magical. I mean, she has a lot of magic going on in her hand, but this feels like a very magical transformation. And then next up, Patience, which is Temperance in the typical tarot deck. And then we got the 9 of Fire, which is the 9 of Wands. So she's coming into who she really is. I love this. So on Monday, we were talking about meditating, going within, figuring out more answers as to who you are, what your soul really is, regardless of the labels that we've placed on it. Tuesday was about having that mass awakening as to, oh my gosh, this is who I am. I'm not just a human being. Like, I actually am a spiritual being having a human experience. And I do have these manifesting abilities, and I can attract what I want in my life. And I do create. I am a creator, right? I am the creator of my own reality. And becoming more aware of belief systems, whatnot. So that was all yesterday. And so now this feels like you're slowly coming into more of who you are. And I'm getting that a lot with like the Patience. Like, it feels like a very slow progression of tapping into more of who you are. I do want to get one on this 9 of Fire though. This 9 of Fire. It's kind of like you're a bit fascinated. Like, you're fascinated with all of this new information and new downloads and new insights. Maybe you're seeing like a lot of synchronicities. We were talking about sequences earlier this week as well. So maybe you've been seeing a lot of number sequences, or maybe you've been seeing a lot of like spirit animals coming around visiting you, or you're just you're becoming more in tune with nature and your natural element. And it's fascinating you. You're kind of like, oh, a whole new world. A whole new world. Okay, I want to get one on this 9 of Fire. I would like to get one on this 9 of Fire. This 4 of Swords. Okay. So yeah, more mental healing. You're like the message is so clear, but to articulate it is like a whole other thing. Okay. So for those of you resonating with this video, good morning. Welcome to your spiritual nature. Welcome to your spiritual path, really. The world you were once living in may not be as it seems. You're becoming aware of things. So on the Temperance card, if you look really closely, there's a clock underneath her skin by her heart. So it's like divine timing is here, like you've awoken, right? You're like going through this transformation. So in the recent past, there could have been like a catalyst or something that like really ignited or really triggered you into coming into this awareness. What was that catalyst? What was that catalyst? The Hierophant. Oh my gosh. Okay, so the Hierophant is all about structure, commitment, 3D world, 3D rules, 3D commitments, responsibilities. Could also be like hierarchy as well. But very much like old ways of doing things, old ways of being. There's a train going by. I hope it's not too bad for y'all. But basically the catalyst feels like you were living in this world that's very confined, right? Because Earth is very confined for our souls. Like our souls are used to being free, being expansive, just doing whatever we want without any like time, space, without anything, right? Like our souls are so accustomed to being free and doing what it wants that this 3D world is confining as hell, because there's so many rules, there's so many restrictions, there's so many laws and belief systems that we have to abide to, right? Like there's just so much confinement, and it might have been too much confinement where like you were like, no, I like, that is kind of like what brought you, like that could have been the catalyst. It could have been a job that was like suffocating and you were like, no more. Or like it could have been like an authority figure that really just like treated you badly, or like someone belittling you or being condescending, or like something that was trying to make you feel small. But then that's like where you gained your power and like your confidence, because you're like, no, fuck that, I'm not small, like I'm not just gonna be belittled or whatnot. Like that's what it feels like. Something like a bigger power, like a 3D power, was kind of like bringing down your light, whether that be like a job or a boss or a relationship. It's basically you're like, fuck that shit, I am no longer playing by rules, playing by society's rules, like nonsense. But now you're in a process of patiently waiting for things to unravel. So it's like now that you have the awakening of, okay, like this is not working, it needs to change. So now you're going through this mental process of like, okay, what needs to be changed and how can I change it? So a lot of mindset healing. So for instance, you might have thought before, like I only have these skills, which is good for this job, and that is my only way forward. But that was like a limiting belief, right? So maybe now you're expanding that and you're like, wait, but I have this and that skill, and like I could gain more skills by like getting education or whatever, and I can open up more doors. So basically you're in the process now of understanding how you can open up more doors through the healing and transformation of your mindset. So you're transforming your mindset because something in the 3D world pissed you off. Looks like something in the 3D world just pissed you the fuck off, and you're like, fuck this shit. And now you're creating your own rules. And now it's kind of like, okay, now what do I want to create? What do I want to create now? So that is super cool. I'm so proud of you guys. Whoever is resonating with this video, like it feels really good. Like it feels like you guys have just overcome a very challenging period. Possibly like a really big trigger or big catalyst. And so now you're like in that zone of, okay, coming to acceptance, but now you're slowly moving forward and understanding what it is that you want and how you can transform to attract what it is that you truly want. So that is really cute. That's a really cool reading. As well, I'm getting like, going back to the clock, like in time, you will know the answers that your heart is seeking for. Or like in time, you might be confused now as to like what you want. You might be at a dead end, like maybe like you lost your job or something, and that transformed, and that like kind of opened you up and was a bit of a catalyst. Like, oh, now I don't have a job. What am I going to do now? And so that kind of like triggered you and brought up awareness as to like what needs to be changed in order for you to move on and do something else. So if that reading resonated with you guys, I would love to hear about it. You can comment like, this totally resonated, or like, yes to transformation, or whatever. I'd love to hear it from you guys. And as well, like and subscribe if you enjoyed these morning messages. And I'm sending you guys so much love and light as always, and I will see you guys in my next video.